How's it, Anne-Marie? First to join, so I'll address the opening afternoon to yourself. Hi, how's it? Flashed on my screen, Microsoft under pressure after first revenue growth in 6 years. So let's see, that might open up a bit down on that bit of news, eh? San Bonani. Guten Tag. Hey, I beat you to it. I beat you to it. I got that. The world's worst linguist beat you to it.
Now I will ride the horse. Dume la bas.
Oh my goodness, that's just gone beyond my pay grade now. As I say, the Engelsman is about the world's worst linguist. So yeah, now I've exhausted my multilingualism, I'm afraid. Buonasera. Oh no, hang on, buonasera. I can do that.
Hi, Rog.
Hi, how's it? Yeah. Yeah, I must admit, language is not my skill at all. That's quite common. You think I'm bad? You should try the Americans. That's terrible.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. No, I got a little bit of a gift. I can speak Zulu quite well, but staying in the Free State and with the Lesotho or the Sothos around, I know now when they say Dumela Tati, it means good day, sir.
Okay. Right. Yeah, we can speak Zulu. That's useful because that's the lingua franca, isn't it? That's good. But tell you what made me think of that. I remember I was on a diving holiday in the Philippines, and I met a German guy who I couldn't talk. He was married to a Japanese woman, and he spent quite a bit of time in Japan. He learned the Japanese language from her. Now that was you might find this amusing. Not the Japanese language, but the Japanese language from his wife. We all talk about equality in the sexes. Well, it doesn't seem to happen to Japan. And Japan have a very different form of address to the males. So to give you an example, if you're a Japanese male, you go into, let's say, a bar and you order a drink. You say, you know, give me a drink of Suntory, that's the whiskey there, by the way, etc. Now, if a woman say, oh, would you please give me a drink of Suntory? It's a different form of address. Well, he didn't know that. So he goes into the bar and orders in Japanese as if he was a woman. And all the guys apparently are just staring at him. So I thought that was quite amusing. Oh, please, if it's all right with you, could you possibly serve me one? And they looked at him. I mean, this is a real strapping rugby-looking guy, and they're looking at him, you know. So he didn't realize. So I just amused me that.
Language is difficult.
Well, it's not just difficult, it's understanding. I remember reading a book years ago, a guy learned Vietnamese, but he didn't speak Vietnamese. Like, he actually understood it, how Vietnamese, you know what I'm saying? It's like clicking into the culture. And often you can go to Australia, you go to the UK, you go to America, and you obviously are completely fluent in English. I can hear that. You're not, in fact, you are. You'll often come to clashes because the cultural differences are there. What is a big joke in one area, maybe Australia, is highly insulting to an American. And I often trip up with that because I've been here a long time, I'm a citizen now, and some of the sort of dry humor, shall we say, and certainly off the wall humor, which I was brought up with, actually goes down very badly. I'm a little bit better now when I first did it. They look at me straight or almost I'm insulting. No, it's a sort of banter, a bit of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, if you know somebody well, you tend to, you sort of almost root them and banter. You know, do you fancy us thrashing at darts, you old bugger? That means, hello, my friend, we'd like a game of darts. Now, if you didn't know that, you'd call me an old bugger and you're thinking of beat me, you arrogant bugger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True, very true.
Yeah. Anyway, all good fun. Anyway, we're going over time a bit now. Bit to business. I'm sure the guys listening to me and you having a good old chit chat there. Right. He's not on here. I've mentioned this morning about a buy on this one to the range, and it looks like it might be coming to the party. I'll be honest, I'm human like everybody else. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit gun shy after the last day. I've had about 3 on the trot. It's a long time, but 3 on the trot I've sent out that didn't work out. I just said in mitigation, I still think they're a correct trade, even though it didn't work out for the information at the time. But still, maybe it's natural, a little gun shy. You know yourself, Anne-Marie, you know you've had a good run, you're more confident. If you have a bad run, you're starting to pull back a bit. So I liked the trade this morning, but I was a bit gun shy. Now I'm wondering, should I suggest chasing it? I don't know. Some guys might have said, sod it, I'm gone in anyway. But it seemed to be the range trade and it has gone up. Let's have a look at the 1 hour chart. What's it now? 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10. Around about this level here, we look to getting in and we're up 80 pips. So I'm sorry about the not being more pressing on it. I did believe in it, but I was a bit gun shy. So it just shows we're all, however long we've been doing it, can be, even though I'm saying thanks, Seth. I don't care how long you've been doing it, you're human. I mean, I don't care. I always say my favorite axiom is even actuary buys their aftershave or fragrance emotionally. We're emotional creatures, and you know, we lapse in confidence and lack of sometimes. And yeah, I think we missed that because I thought it was good, but I wasn't pushy enough, and I didn't send it out or whatever after the last couple of, because I got a lot of hate mails with it at the top, but I got 1 or 2 nasty comments on it from people, quite a few actually. Forgetting the fact that 2 or 3 before hit the TP, oh no, that's all forgotten. So I was a little bit sort of taken aback and gun shy on it, so I think we might have missed that a bit. So yeah, just sorry about that. Okay, when you chase it now, I'm a little bit nervous again, because we all say wait till it breaks, but I don't broke too much. It's got a bit of resistance up there, 80 pip move. You might pull back or bring it through. There's a bit of profit taken at the moment, but keep an eye on it. I think there's a good chance of getting to at least there, at least there, at least there, and it could even go further up to there, or maybe there. So I think there's a possibility there. And fundamentally, I prefer well, it's going long here actually. I prefer the NZD to the GBP, but I still like the range trade. So yeah, I think maybe just not sure I'll be chasing it now. But my apologies not being more pushy this morning. My normal, maybe overconfident self was a little bit gun shy after the last 2 or 3, because I do take it seriously, and you know, I hate it when the guys lose. I'm not what about me, I'm what about you guys. I hate it because you trust, you follow me, and it comes back. It's like, and it hurts. You know, you didn't trust me or you didn't follow me, I wouldn't care, but you do, and I feel I let you down. Whether it's in my head or not, it's just one of those things. So sorry about that, we missed it, but we keep an eye on it. If it comes back a bit, maybe get another bash at it. Okay. We did discuss CAD CHF. Again, I still believe that it was short, but a little bit of gun shy there. And it's not really taken off, probably, thank goodness. It wouldn't come up in 2 we missed out on. 69.12 we got out. I think some guys did take it because I've got it written down. So we're slightly in profit, but it's battling to get going. Look at this again. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. You can see immediately the indecision. At the moment, it seems to be happening quite a lot of the time. It has popped back down. A few buyers have come in. Now, remember these moving average work on all charts. Maybe it's a lot weaker on an hour than before, certainly a daily and certainly on a weekly. Now, the longer the term, the more power the longer term moving average. Because this is only, remember, 50 hours. On a week, it's 50 weeks. You know, I mean, obviously a more of a concrete ceiling, if you like. And it seems you might be holding there for a pullback. Again, so I still believe in the trade. A decent stop is at 84, which is what, 84 pips from me, as you see, 69.84. So I still believe in it if anyone wants to chase it. It's 10 pips below this morning if you didn't enter, but I still think there's a chance of coming back. Okay, before we go into more details, I will just check the other one, which I was very nervous of. No, that wasn't gun shy. I would be nervous even though I was confident. And somebody out there, I forget who it was, I think it's Wendy, and I said you should be drilling a special forward to sell that. Well, I think she's going to be SCS to call the officers Ruperts. I think she's going to be promoted to a Rupert or an officer, because the trade went in at 71.05. I think she took it, and now she's 35 in profit. I'll be honest. If we went back to that, I still wouldn't have taken it. Selling the Aussie after that bit of fundamental, with the dollar still looking pretty weak at the moment, still hovering 102. Every time it pops up, it's coming off. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have taken that trade anyway. So I just wanted to mention, Wendy's not on. If the other person took it, must have been somebody else or would have written it down. Well done. You were certainly very brave and fortunate. At this stage, anyway, it favoured you. 30 pips in profit. I'm still a bit nervous of it. It might be an idea if anyone did take it, even though it's only 30 pips away from entry, maybe put a stop loss into entry, just in case the dollar does weaken further, etc. But yeah, that was a Rambo trade, ever there was one. Well done. Okay, so anyone who want to chase this CAD CHF, or do you want to wait out till maybe tomorrow? I'm extremely iffy on the dollar pairs. I think a lot of it, Zeph, is again psychological. Just everything life's psychological. It's a changeover from driving the left to the right. If you go into America, for instance, we've been the strong dollar, buy the bloody dollar for so long now, it's difficult to adjust. The Canadian being weak, it's difficult to adjust. The Swissy being sort of midterm, week's pushing it, midterm. Japan suddenly from weak to being strong, and Europe from weak to being middle, now strong. It takes a bit of adjustment to get your head around it. And so I'm going to be honest, again, psychological, not a lot of science here, Mr. Farney, not a lot of science going to this. I'm still a bit wary of that dollar, but at the same time, the facts in front of me, it seems to be dollar weakness going forward. Having said that, going back to science again, any form of inflation picking up, he's quite open on this. He's quite open, this Powell, that is, Jerome Powell, you know, the chairman of the Fed. He will get more hawkish and that dollar will strengthen. So be iffy, but for promotional, yeah, there's a bit of science as well, if you see what I mean. Gold, yes, I think I need you. I said my last line to me about that. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to have to get thicker glass as well, because and maybe get a lobotomy, because sometimes I hear you. Yeah, big time. Hear you big time. Yeah, that's my sort of wacky sense of humor. It's like getting exactly where you're coming from. Okay, yeah. Very much sort of Monty Python come Basil Fawlty kind of carry on, yeah. Okay, where are we? Gold. It's hovering. I want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it there. I want to buy it 1920. Just hey, I think it got there today. Missed it. Sorry about that, guys. What the hell was I doing? I think I was making a couple of calls or something. I missed it. Now I've got stuff to do. That's an excuse. All right. Anyway, missed it. I said about 1920 of the buy. It zapped back between 3 and 4, and I missed it. Okay. Pity. All right. Should we chase it? That's the name of the game. But the dollar's still pretty weak. Do you want to chase 1950? That's $25 away. 1905, 20. 20, risking 20 to make 25. We're pushing it. The only way you can do it, you got to push that stop up. Now, is that if you're going to put too tight a stop? Where's this going to be now? 15, you can maybe try 15. It's a bit tight, to be honest. You might try 15. 1910 is your stop. But from my opinion, I prefer slightly wider stop. You're chasing it a bit. I think you might have missed that. But if you want to chase it, you're going to have to put the 1910 stop. I hope it breaks 1940 this time around for 1950 hit. And don't forget the DXY has got to stay below 102. Not exactly. I mean, probably end up 20.2 or whatever, but around about that level and go down. And don't forget the yields have got to be on the low side as well. High yields could stuff the system up. That's up to you, to be honest. If you want to change it now, I'm going to be honest with you, I missed it. I want to get 1920. I missed it. Tough. I missed it. If you want to chase it, it's up to you. In other words, be upon your head. Okay.
Roger.
Yeah.
1920 I miss as well because it turned around at 1920.12. I had a buy limit on it and it didn't activate it.
Yo. You missed it by 10 sodding cents. Yo. Oh, that's not you missing it. That's a stuff up. 12 cents. It came back 12 cents to your buy limit. Yeah. Well, what can I say? That's just bad luck. That's not skill. That's nothing else. 10 sodding nothing cents. It's like putting a bid in for a 5 million rand house you love very much. Your wife loves it. Your kids love it. And you put a bid in, and the other guy beats you by 50 rand. Make it 5,000 rand, a 5 million rand house. But, a tiny amount in comparison to the amount. Now, that's just tough. Okay, all right. Well, can't say much on that. That's just sheer bad luck. Okay, fair enough. Okay, well there we are. As long as you know the difference between skill and bad luck, that's just none to do with skill. That's just bad luck. It's strange that 10 cents. Normally go around figure like 920. It's not like you put a go for 1921.75 or something ridiculous. 1920, and people psychologically go for round figures. I would have thought it popped below a bit. That's a pity. You probably found, make it even worse, the spread on the sell or on the bid probably popped below, but you put a buy on it, so it maybe got to 1919 or 99.50 or something on the bid, and the ask didn't suck you in. Just remember what I say of the spread. I hope you all know what I'm talking about on the spread. Remember, if you go long, you're not out on the never mind the bid ask. Use this term, it's easier. Buy ask. If you go in long, you get out on the sell. So if you see, let's say, take this up here. That says 1942.13. If that is the ask price, you get out on the sell price. And the sell price, what was this? About $1 away. So if it gets there on the chart and you're still in, it comes off. You know why? Because the sell didn't get there. That's why I often say maybe raise the short. Let's say we're going short, by the way. Never mind putting the TP there. Maybe put a little bit above to cover the spread. So you know that if it gets there, your spread on this case will be the buy will get you out. It's the other way around. Okay. If anybody out there doesn't know what I'm talking about when we talk about the spread, please tell me, because that's something you should be learning in the classes, by the way. But you might have missed it, because I do know I spoke to a couple of people. It brings up the guy says, "Can you get bigger spreads?" Which clearly had no idea what we were talking about. Because I mean, that's not something you asked for. That's Mr. Now, can you put your prices up? We didn't realize that, clearly. So hope everybody there knows the spread. That's the market maker spread, and that's like its brokerage. Like the zero on the roulette table is the houses. If anyone doesn't know that, please tell me. If you do, don't worry about it. But please, I hope to goodness you know that, because that's something you've got to know, and that we can't control. Whether gold goes up to 30 or back to 20, nobody knows that. We take a view on it and action it. But yeah, we've got to know what the spread is, what the margin is, what the chart is, you know, the basics. If you don't know those basics, it's like being in the car and don't know where the stop button is, the brake is, and then, you know, it's a bit dangerous. Not quite, that can kill you, but you know what I mean. The spread is the market maker spread. Like, you know, I've been gambling on the roulette table. Okay. Hey, yes. Good. Sorry, just the news came through. Hoping for that. Fantastic. Okay, anyway, moving along. You have costs. On a roulette table, if you get it on, put on number 20 and you come up 20, you paid 35 to 1. But there's 36 numbers on the table and there's a zero. That puts the favorite side of the house. Now, the point of the spread is the cost of the brokerage, if you like. So the difference between the bid and ask, or the buy and sell, same thing, that difference, see, ignore those cents, say 1925, 926, call that a $1 spread. Actually, it's not, it's about 120. It floats depending on volumes. A large amount of volume, it'll close slightly. If the volumes go down a bit, it'll widen slightly. In other words, what does that mean? This is the economy of scale. You've got a shoe shop and I'm going to give you 10,000 shoes a month order. I'm going to get a better price if I buy one pair of shoes every couple of years, clearly. Right. So as the volumes of trades go up and down, that floating spread will either close or go out. But say it's around about $1. So when you go in at 1926, you press the button, it'll immediately be $1 down, not $1, it's a $1 difference in price. So let's say you go in for one standard lot, which is $10 per 1.0 movement. If you go in right now and press buy, you're down minus $10 immediately because you get out on this. That's the difference of the spread. When I make statements like get in between the spreads, it means, let's say it's 925 or 927, and I'm putting down my piece of paper as a trade. I won't put that or that, I'll put the middle one in. So I put in, we entered at 1926, that's called in between the spreads. Because we're going short, I'm not going to put that, going long, I'm not going to put that, I'm going to go halfway between. That's called in between the spreads. Okay. Does that make sense? That is your brokerage. That's your market maker spread, if you like. Does that make sense? Because if it doesn't, you, Anne-Marie, maybe somebody else don't understand. And this is important. Because something I forget, because I'm doing it all the time, some of those basic stuff get washed away, assumed, and they're not known. You got it now. Fantastic. Okay, that's very important. Something else I want you to, is it a little bit more involved to try and explain it now, but I want you to Google, if you don't know, the difference in spot and futures price. I keep talking with the market owners on the NASDAQ. That's the spot guys, the spot market players going to their desk, and that only opens on the NASDAQ at 4:30, a bit like the shares. But you have the futures, which we have on here, the NASDAQ and Dow and the S&P. They're all futures, which goes round the clock. There's a difference in the spot price and the futures. Quickly, it means is the futures price is 3 months away, depending from when the futures contract is closed or open. And in that difference is basically dividends and shares or interest. In other words, I'm going to lend you, Anne-Marie and Fani, 10,000 Rand, but when you pay it back to me in 3 months' time, you're not going to give me 10,000 back. You're going to give me, I don't know, 10,500 Rand back or whatever, because that is the interest and the differential over 3 months. But if you open, let's say it's March to June, that's what I want to explain. I'm explaining it now. But let's say you open the contract in May, then I'm going to lend you 10,000 Rand in May. You'll only pay me 150 back in June because it's only 1 month of interest. So it's a bit more complicated than that. You get basis and moving between, you get contango and backwardation involved between the futures. But don't worry about that. That's down the line. The bottom line is you've got to know there's a difference in the spot price, futures price, and that's why We only do spot price on shares, hence the market up as 4, and that's why you get jumping around the Nasdaq, because the spot traders opens up at 4:30 on the Nasdaq, and that's why you see these jumping around, because these guys closing the position, which they couldn't do because they're on spot, not on futures, or opening because they couldn't do before. And that's why you get some funny jumping around in the first couple of minutes or minute or so on the Nas. So if that is a bit complicated, go and Google difference in spot and futures, you'll get it. And something else is forwards, which are sort of what you call it, tailor-made between institutions. Futures are on contract, gets a bit more complicated, but the basic understanding of futures and spot, I think it's reasonably important to know. So maybe you can Google it in your own time. Okay, spot and futures, Google it. Okay. Fine. All right. Okay, so this is hardening our case so far. It's going up now, naturally. Naturally, yeah, I don't know. It's annoying. We're not on board. Believe me, it'll reach target. That's called Sod's Law. Anyway, we'll go back to, it's not open yet, 8 minutes, don't let me forget. We'll see if our KO comes right, or we will be KO'd, eh? What's CAD-CHF? Is anything happening there, or should we miss it? It's not a lot happening. Look at indecision on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. Came off, buyers came in, indecision, maybe just sit tight on it. If you're in, save it, but I don't know. I think maybe you had a chance this morning. It's not exactly 10 pips. It's not going to shut the lights out. It's still bumbling around with indecision. Maybe you should maybe have joined it. Maybe give them this. Okay. I'm still smart. The last 2-3 trades are in a ride. Although I think the US dollar, Swiss francs now come to the party. Yeah, now it's come to the party naturally. Some guys had a wider stop. They're on board, smiling. I know Kerar's not with us at the moment. He joined it again. He's a little bit more experienced. He had another go. He believed the trade, and now he's smiling. Okay, so yeah, maybe a few pips wider stop. You'd have been in there, and now you'd been in profit. So maybe going forward, maybe you should think about reducing the position size and widen the stop. And don't forget, if you widen the stop, you must reduce the position size accordingly. I don't want guys coming in on 5,000 Rand. Should I go in 0.02? That doesn't mean anything. 0.02 depends where the stop is compared to the entry. You know the maths. If a 0.02 in the Dow is completely different to 0.02 on the gold because of different contracts, because the same contract size but different amounts. That's why people need the trading room. And the fact they don't come, we're trying our best to drive them here. They're not bothering, and yet they scream and shout, and they're the one that scream and shout the most about it going wrong because they're trying to drive a car without even one driving lesson and wondering why the car's not performing. You get my point. It's frustrating. And it's there, we lay it on, and it's not exactly incredibly difficult, is it? What the market does, that's just unknown. But the actual basics, hey, I'm just sound so I'm just for an average person. It's not exactly, you know, astrophysics stuff. I think it's just a pullback on the odds at the moment after that jump around on the fundings there, Brady. The GBP is a bit of a nifty one. It's back in the. It's actually interesting. There, it's on the daily. Oh, yeah, it's in the sell zone. I'll give you a due. Right. 4 hour popped up. Indecision on 4 hour. See where I'm coming from, guys? 1 hour indecision, leave it alone. Do you understand where I'm coming from? If I went too quick, I'll repeat it. How it can, with a bit of practice, be that quick. I've got a question there, meet in the sell zone. Pounder looked at iffy, but don't stop me. Don't be prejudiced against it. Be open-minded. Okay? And it came down, a quick pop back up again. Is that confidence? Look at the 4 hour indecision. It popped up at indecision, right? Or to be fair, always look at the time. That started at 4 o'clock. It's only 26 minutes old, to be fair. Our one's 26 minutes old, so it'd be an identical count, but forget that. Okay, but a little bit of decision there. I'm a bit nervous on that. You could well be right, Jeff. You could well be right. In the sell zone, I agree with that. But the indecision's bothering me. Got a bit of momentum. I said, let's grab it. Stop up here. That's a bit wide. We talk about wider stop, but not that wide. and take it down here somewhere. But my little bit of problem there is a bit of indecision there. Let's go back to the 1 hour. 1 hour and 4 is the same at the moment, remember, because it's both start at 4 o'clock. Don't forget that. Dip there. Don't forget. Okay. I'm not over convinced, but I hear you, Zeph. Obviously, I have high respect for your trading ability. We've gone head to head, and you're about even Stevens at the moment. I want a couple, you want a couple, which is great. But all that means in a roundabout way, I respect you, respect what you have to say, and take cognizance of it. I'm going to stick my guns. I'm a little bit nervous of chasing it now. But if you feel like, go for it, obviously. Okay, so anyone want to join Zeph on a short on this one? I've made my case. I could be completely wrong. We know that in the last 24 hours. What do you think? Do you want to chase with Zeph, or do you want to leave it alone? Well, if the leader's not that confident now, it's not going to exactly enhance some of the newer guys, eh? Amory's going to leave it alone. Brady, finally, what do you want to do? Okay, fair enough. All right, good enough. Hapa, no, it's coming up. Let's just go over there. Then we can check. I don't know if there was any trades open apart from KO. You still in the other ones we had out? Microsoft, if it jumps about, it might come off. I don't know, it might get a chance. If we get any on the GS, because that did very well. If it bounces up, we might get another chance of that. F-stop, of course. Thanks for reminding me. F-stop. Yeah. Watch GS as well. I'm right down because GS is popping up. We might get another shot at that. Some missed that. I have to say I did all right with that one. GS stop. KO stop. Don't forget the full stop afterwards. Some guys say, I can't load it. Can't put in F. No, you've got to put F stop. Not FO, by the way. That's F stop. Just wait for a bit, see how it jumps around. Although remember, it's the opening and closing for the spot players I mentioned. And then we'll get after a minute or so, maybe get some sort of short-term direction. The 1102, so there's no direction for the dollar at the moment. So it might be a bit iffy. I've said sell a rally, and that seemed to have played out, but it might be a bit slow, just getting a bit of direction. See. Still in Amazon, we'll certainly look at it. Write that down. Don't want to start looking at stuff you're already out of. Let's see what happens. Are we in the 15-minute? No, we're not. We'll see it bouncing around in theory. I just say, looking at the dollar, just very good solid after a few hours around the 102 level. It's not getting much direction from the weak or strength of the dollar, or the yields come to that. So just bear that in mind. I just, while you're looking at that, I'm just going to copy and paste some of the guys there. Didn't say yes or no, but I'll do it anyway. This is the index of the dollar index. Remember, the dollar index made up of 6 currencies, which is the predominant weighting is the euro. Don't forget that. And I'll put in the economic calendar. You can add to it. I've filtered it. I might have missed 1 or 2. You can filter it to other stuff if you want it. There you are. Right, looks like they're expecting, remember, all markets look forward like we do. What's now is priced in already. That's history already as we look at it. Pricing, the ball moving out of that is what people price in for the, in the future, if you like. As you see the price now, that's the past automatically. Okay, only when it changes. So other people don't realize that either. Okay, so yeah, there's overall, as I said many times, people just jumping and screaming about the last couple of days of MoneyWeb and the JSE going up. We might be going back to a ball, though. This is a pullback or rally rather in a bear market. No, I'm not talking about South Africa, I'm talking worldwide. Big issues there. Major debt due to overproduction of the fiat currency causing inflation, and they're trying to get it before it gets out of control. The simple way of putting it, you guys, is maxing your credit card, getting out on and maxing that, pay them in all the time until they give you no more credit cards. Now you've got a problem. Plus the horrendous interest rate you pay on it. And the more the debt, the more the problems, the more the interest rate goes up. And it's been happening to try and bring it down. So now your debt has become even worse. Basic economics. Okay, let's have a look now. Okay, it seems to be coming off. I just want to check the open ones first. No, it's coming off GS. We might get an entry there. Let's look at KO. Where's KO? Coming off. Thank goodness for that. That was another idea going down 20. F stop. A little bit coming off, back into a bit of profit. That's good news. Now we go to Microsoft. Yeah. That's flashed across the screen earlier on. Profit way below expectation. Look at that opening. So we missed that. Anyway, one of those things, yeah. Short the rally. I didn't know it was going to come up just now, literally about 15, 20, half an hour ago. But if that had gone up to even open at 241, never mind 242, or something like that, I would have said let's short it, because that's had quite a few weeks. Remember, we like Microsoft here in South Africa and that sort of thing, but Apple's the name of the game to go over there. A bit snotty about it as well, man. I don't know Apple, second-class citizen. You know what I mean? So yeah. Well, clearly you don't chase that now. Yeah. Wait till you get. What happens now? We call it 3-day rule. I don't actually fully agree with that. I think we call it maybe a few hours to a day rule. If it can profit-taking bounce, we might be able to join the party, but not there. Not now, Tembi. Remember, can I just leave that a second? Show what I mean. Remember, I said the round figure. If it gets to 12,000, you put it. I don't know if you got it sent out me Instagram. I don't know. I do a weekly snippet over the weekend, which is obviously pushed out Monday morning. And I said it should get to around about the 12,000 mark, and then come off, sell the rally to that level. And if it did get there, then sell it. The stop up here. I like 200 pips, by the way, which basically means that's what 200 pips is 20 US. It's about 350 rand a micro. 350 rand a micro, so we're looking at 5 accounts. If you've got 2 grand accounts to go and you're overexposed. If you can afford to be overexposed because you wait for 25 grand to come through and you should be in 3 days, then you get overexposed. If 5 grand's a lot of money, 2 grand's a lot of money to you, you can't touch it because it hurts you. You know what I mean? You've got $1,000. Don't go to the casino, go on the $100 or $200 minimum bet job. No, you get my point. So to chase it now with a possible bounce 11.5-ish, with a 200 pip stop, clear the master against you. So I wouldn't chase it now, no. Some guys buy it and do well on the buy, but I prefer to wait for the bounce and then sell it down on this rather erratic, volatile instrument. If you traded before, not a problem. If you're first, I know it's sexy. Ferrari's sexy. You're 17, 18 years old, just got your driving license. Take a step back before you start driving off the radar knots in your dad's Ferrari. You get the idea. That's a Ferrari. Okay. And you got to know the differences between them. As I say, it's different to a commodity. It's different to a share. It's different to a currency. And this is even more S&P and even the Dow, which is a bigger number. It's the only one compete, in my opinion, the NASDAQ, we don't have on here, for fluctuations, volatility, is the Aussie 40. I've traded that. That is seriously volatile. Yeah, that is not for the faint-hearted at all. But to less, this isn't either. So there's not something, if you heard it's sexy, you see it all on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, how much money they're making. Remember, they only print on there, usually from a demo account, might add, the winning trade. They're going to put on a whole bunch of red, aren't they? So anything on Instagram, take it with a pinch of salt, trust me. Like, was it View coming the other day, this guy made 28 grand a day? Anybody here believe it? I worked it out. To make that kind of money, you need about a 6 million rand account. I would certainly on this one, because we haven't got anyone with 6 million. So almost certainly look at his house. You know, it's a 2-bedroom little townhouse, and you know what I mean? It's BS. So just be careful of all that big talk. You know what I mean? So yeah, be careful of that. How much BS you and excitement of Ferrari and blah blah blah, and Lear jets and luxury yachts. Be careful. Don't try playing with a small account. You're going to get margin call at some stage, unless you get lucky 3 times by overexposing, and away you go. As one guy did. He went in huge overexposure and a 500-to-1 leverage on a tiny account, about 3-4 grand or something. And he just got lucky. A fundy came through and it shot up about several hundred pips in his direction on that coming through. And you could see the speed he whipped his money out of his account in case we nicked it off him, which of course we cannot do. We'd be highly barred for it, but you know what I mean, all emotion. So just be circumspect. Don't rely on a major lottery win. Most times you lose the lottery, you know what I mean? Okay, be careful of it. I see this all the time, guys. The TR, I'm picking up because something happened wrong with their account. I see immediately they got a grand or 500 rand. Never mind one. I've seen guys going 2 or 3 because they're highly leveraged. If I had my way, anybody who doesn't understand full and mean of leverage shouldn't have a high leveraged account, because he's driving a car which he doesn't understand the pros and cons of. It's too dangerous on his financial system. He doesn't fully understand it. Right, Tembi, just for everyone's sake, people got, as I say, MetaTrader 4, which is US 30. MetaTrader 5 is used the Dow. So I get that a lot as well. I can't find the US 30 on here. You won't have to name the Dow. So just so you know what he's talking about, it's the Dow. Before I do that, remember, left click, right click, specifications, 10 contract size. The contract size is 10 and it's 11,000, the figure. Let's go to the Dow. Contract size 10. Look at the figure. Well, I haven't put it on yet. Look at my figure. Look at the figure, 33,000. 3 times the amount, same contract size. So this is a different setup. 0.02 or 0.2 or whatever you do is not the same on here as it is on the NASDAQ. I hope you all understand the maths of that. I know you do Farney and Mike and that, Nanbury or what radio, whatever, but some guys are not getting this maths of it, and it's coming back and smacking them. It's not my money, it's your money. I know that, but still, I care. I might be loud and abrasive, and my girlfriend used to call me a loudmouth, bombastic bomb, but I'm a big softy and I mean well. I think you'd rather hear it harshly than politely, and then you lose all your money. So yeah, this one, I personally think, I thought 8, but I personally should be 10 grand. Let's do a trade on this one. Go to daily. If you want to short it, put the stop up here. Right, let's do this to see so you get what I'm on about. All right, we're going to short this, okay? Need to put the stop above here, right? TP, well, it doesn't really matter, it's only an example. We'll put the TP down here. 329.50. There we are. 329.50. All right, click on there. 640 bucks for 1 micro. I usually recommend a guy says, what should I risk per trade? You can do 3-4 trades, but per trade on a 10 grand account, I say about 500, maybe 550, pushing it 600. This is above 600. So even really 10 grand ain't going to really cut it. If you can do it if you like, if you've got a highly leveraged account, you can certainly do it in a smaller amount, but you'll be very overexposed. You might get Christmas, but you might get the poorhouse if it goes the wrong way. And often the jumping around, it's not as volatile, I give you, as the NASDAQ, but it's still volatile. It can jump around. What time did it open? 1/2 This is right. Well, how far has it jumped already? That's 73 pips. That's $7.30. That's 120 rand. On a 1,000 rand account in 20 minutes, that's 12% of your entire equity in 12 minutes. On a 500, it's 25% of your entire equity in 10 minutes. You can't handle that, even though you leverage so high, you get in because the deposit is so small. Are we all understanding what I'm saying? Because this is really smacking a lot of guys, and these guys can least afford it. It's hurting. It's like taking, I'm sorry if the bank loses 1 million rand. But it hurts me if a guy who scrabbled and saved 1,000 rand and he's lost it in 2 minutes simply because he didn't know this basic arithmetic on contract value. Are we all understanding this? I'm not trying to frighten you, I'm trying to make you aware. It's important. Okay. I'll repeat, tell me. Well, I'm sure you get out, Anne-Marie. I'm trying to get some of the guys who are new to respond so they can learn, because I do know for a fact a lot of guys go to class, etc., and don't seem to gain from it. I know they're either not listening or not understanding, too shy to put their hand up. Please, it's important. Now, let's look at it now. It's going up now. You went short. Recommendation goes short. This is a short one, something now, and it's going the wrong way. Already 2 minutes, $90. What's $90 in rands? It's about 1,500 rand. You'd have been margin called on a $2,000 account. You'd probably be margin called. Never mind a 15 or 1,000 rand account in 2 minutes. Please get it. Okay, and I see it all the time. And of course, it's our fault. People like Zeph, when it goes wrong, Zeph blames Zeph. When guys haven't a clue what's going on goes wrong, they blame everyone else but themselves, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, Zeph. All right, so the Dow, if anyone wants to play around the Dow, I do see a short, but do I see a short at these levels? Why is it still there? I should get rid of this. Let's have a look. These levels? No, I don't. Even if you got the Tom, it's halfway house. If it clears tomorrow below that and you've got the money, guys, expect a short down there, the stop up there. Okay, we'll work it out for those who can afford it. But even those who can afford it, be aware it can be a fairly high roller coaster, hairy ride. And even guys at 50 don't want to suddenly spew 2 or 3 grand suddenly in 20 minutes. It can be a hairy ride. Bear that in mind. But it can be very, very profitable if you've got the courage and strength of mind to handle that kind of movement. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't go it now. It's not convincingly broken there. Okay. It could easily pop up a bit. Leave it. Anyways, put the fear of God in you there, 10B, but you're getting the point now. Okay. Right, we've done the NAS, Amazon mentioned just now. We're all out of apples, so we'll leave that. If anyone's in it, we can look at it. Amazon's coming off. Goody, goody, goody. So you're still in Amazon, you should be back in profit. That's life, eh? Yesterday, I wanted to shoot myself. Today, I feel a lot better. Slight exaggeration, guys, you know what I mean. Okay, there's a lady called Sandra joining. It's quite a common name. There's no surname. Just wait for it to hopefully join. Because Sandra WhatsApped me when I was in the trailer, so I couldn't check it out. Maybe it's the same person and saying welcome. Anyway, okay, let's go back to join. Another thing you need is decent sized Wi-Fi, decent internet. A lot of guys come in not needing no money, no knowledge, etc., trying to trade this market, and not in the right equipment, not even decent Wi-Fi. But one guy I wanted to come and join the TRs, he had to say, oh, great, I'm gonna have to put some data into my phone. That's very costly. Again, it's like anything else, the odds are against you. You still need character, but it helps you got some privilege. So it looks like a bit of a jump down. I can't say I'm surprised. Sorry the guys got knocked out in the jump up yesterday, but the overall, on the bigger picture, slightly medium, I won't say long-term, medium picture, so far, in mitigation, have been correct. So it's the short-term jumps around and stuff you up. Okay. That's why I say very short-term move, like day trading. That's a lot of that's just crystal ball gazing. That's actually gambling in a way. Okay, where are we? CAD, CHF, we thought we'd leave it. Seem to be trying to come again. Go for it.
Look at that range trade again of GBP.
ZZD, yeah.
Thanks.
Are you some sort of masochist? Hey, you missed that. No, the gold. Sorry, the gold. Beg your pardon. Sorry about that. The gold. We don't look at the gold if it keeps going up. Hey, and myself, I'm sharing it with you. You know, I said my comedy sense of humor. It's a banter all meant in fun, etc. But yeah, it's right there for that. Do you want to join it there? I don't want to short it. I want to buy it, but I'm sure I want to buy it there. Where are you going to put your stop first of all? Down here, 190. So you can't do that. You've got to go to 4 hour. So you've got to put it down here somewhere. And even that 4 hours only 8.5 hours. Remember, it's only started at 4 o'clock. And even that's there. You're going to put it here, which is only 4.5 hours ago. 4.5 hours ago, that's 100 pips, which is to me too tight in such a move. Afraid that trade is gone. I know Gerard, because he WhatsApped me earlier on. He's not with us now, and he went for it, and he's smiling. We missed that. I apologize again. That was me still smiling from yesterday. Trading signals, we missed it, but I did like it. The upside. I think 1 or 2 guys then went short, but yeah, I'm gonna have to miss it or wait for a pullback. I don't want to chase it here, unless you do. If you do, I'll put the calculator up. We expect a hectic stop. I personally think, finally, fear of missing out, rather take a deep breath and say, right, it might pull back, have a look again tomorrow, and we might get it back down here. And you think, thank goodness, now we're going to stop down there, take it up there, this is better. I think it's, well, okay, I'll do that with pleasure. Up to you. So you can put the stop below today's, just a bit below today's. This is only, what, 16 hours old, this stop. And then that is going to be, as it stands now, 150 pips. So we're going to take a TP up here, 1.9344. Good luck, mate. 1.9344. Any closer, I think it's a brilliant idea. 1.9344. Do as you're told, Mr. Calculator. That's better. Even that's only a 150 odd, scratching the risk reward at the basis, and it's still, that's not bad. 180. That's not bad. It's will be a bit more than that. The okay, $180, not too bad. I thought we were 200. Okay, if you want to take it, I'm not keen at all. If 2 guys want to do it, I'll put it down, but I've said my piece. I ain't. It's only, look at that stop, 150 odd pips, and it's only 16 hours old. It's not below yesterday's. If you put below yesterday's, wow, then we're going to talk a serious minimum entry. Yeah, well, so do I. But would you put your TP higher? Not a good idea. That ship sailed, missed out. And again, I put my hand up. Should have been more pushy this morning because I believe in that trade. Mind you, I believe in CAD, CHF one. That's not, at least it's okay. It's got it before me. Anyway. Yeah, Brady, to be honest. Can we knock this off? We don't have too many keen guys on that. Again, sorry, Brady. Just before I go into that, again, don't touch this if you're new or the small account. It's what's called an exotic. It has a higher cost. It's 19 pip costs, far higher costs, and much higher deposit. Because it's an irrational kind of currency you're dealing with called an exotic, they will have an increased margin. Now the deposit's much higher. So if you go on a £1,000 account, you go 0.01, you've got maybe 200 or 300 rand left over, free margin. You can't go anything else. and you've got to keep some free margin at all times for the ups and downs of the noise, of the movements, of the price in the market. So do I see upside? Absolutely. It's just pulled back a bit, as you can see. So between 1710, yeah. Below 1710, I look at a buy. I'm certainly not going to be buying the rand. If you sell short this, even the dollar's a bit weak, I'd still be worried to sell it. If you kept it, to me, the rand appears to strengthen because the other side of the seesaw is weakened. It's not so much the rand, and it's a serious problem that's occurring with Eshcom. Never mind Transnet, there's several of them. Eshcom is a serious problem. So yeah, if you can afford it, you understand it. Yeah, I agree with you. Again, you might miss it, but I'm not being scared here. I wouldn't chase it now. Chase it between 17, 1710 or better, basically. I always keep the door open by saying or better. Better means a better price, obviously. Well, to me, it's obvious. Okay. Yes, I would, to answer your question. Okay, Brady, hope that's all clear. If not, please say so. GBP AUD for a buy. I think we discussed it earlier on. I think Zeph was quite keen. Was he keen to sell? I can't remember. I'm not keen. Why am I not keen? You got it there, great. Why I'm not keen, Tembi, is, well, look at the, it came down, I'm not going to sell it, buy. It has come off and bounced back up again. It is, however, in the sell zone. It's below all the moving average in the sell zone, not the neutral, not the buy, in the sell zone. Right. The GBP is a maverick, can be strong, can be weak. I always say like the French football team. Football bloody team. That's a Freudian slip. There was one. I swore then. Sorry, guys. The rugby team can be better than the Kiwis one day and worse than the Romanians. Sorry, Romanians. The next day, you know what I mean. Nothing wrong against Romania, but any Romanians there. The rugby team not exactly world beaters. You know what I mean. Right. So let's have a look at the 4 hour. Yes, it's popping up. I get that. How far I can go? It might get a bit of noise here. That's 20 pips time. Can get a lot of noise, in my opinion, there in 40 pips time. That's not enough meat on the bone for me to chase at the moment in the sell zone with an Aussie that's, you know, has increased interest rates and, you know, and it's quite strong at the moment against a bit of a maverick. I personally would suggest you gave that a miss and don't shoot me. If it goes shooting up, you're not on board. I admit the NZD one earlier on. Yeah, that was one I have to say was more my emotional. But after being knocked yesterday, that is different. This one, I wouldn't be too keen on. No. There's too many hurdles between now and a TP of this sort of level here, and it's still in the sell zone. What's indicating to me the Aussie suddenly gets so weak, which it hasn't been lately, I might add, it's going to shoot up. Remember, Chinese New Year, the whole week, it's back on to, coming up. They've opened COVID and they're doing good trade there. To sell the Aussie and buy the pound in the sell zone after a move up like that, with too many hurdles on the way up, the odds are for me too hectic for my liking to go for it. I'm going to stand aside. That's my opinion. Tembi, what is yours, or Fani, or Anna Marie, or Brady, or Zeph, or anybody else? They might have an opposite opinion and might be a very good one. And if we're saying, right, no, sorry, I'm sorry, guys, go for it. You know what I mean? I'm open to suggestions. Okay. Not silence, guys, suggestions. Unmute or whatever. So I'm talking a bit quickly, guys, but don't get to where I am. GBP finally acts erratic, period, full stop.
But it's worse after the PPI, my friend.
That's true, yeah. Don't get me wrong, you hear my accent, but you can take the piss out of the UK as much as you like. I was even born there. I was born in North Africa. Believe it, I'm a North African, was born there. Went to school there and then left as soon as possible. Not my, if you love it, great. It's not my full-on cup of tea. You can take the mick as much as you like. But I certainly do, trust me. Yeah. And okay, PPI, yeah, it's a bit even more erratic. In other words, GBP is a sort of poor brother of the Nasdaq, if you look at it that way.
No, so I was actually looking for an Englishman with a French accent, born in
Oh,
North
yes.
Africa.
That's easy. Yeah. My name is Roger. So sexy. So exciting to be with. Yeah.
Je
Roger.
t'aime.
Oh, je t'aime, Roger. Sexy one. What a terrible, terrible accent. That's the best I can do. Let's move on from making you more of a fool himself. Right. You want to go to the 4 hour? Are you on the 4 hour? Sorry. We're actually on it. So I thought today. Beg your pardon. 50-day moving average. 150 pips, where are you going to put your stop? Well, you can't put it there because it ain't going to work. Put it there, ain't going to work. So you're going to have to put it there on the 4 hour, not the daily. And this, remember, candle is not even 1 hour old. And even that's 70 pips. Do you want to do that? Do you understand what I mean? You understand what I mean? Remember always, 1600 opened the candle. So that's exactly the same as the 1 hour candle. So you're putting a 1 hour stop at 70 pips to chase that. Is that wise? You have a point, Brady. And I think it's a very sexy point there. Monsieur Fanny.
Monsieur Marie is answering.
Monsieur Marais. Monsieur Marais. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Anyway, even if we don't make money, at least have a bit of a laugh, eh? Or as the English would say, or the Americans would say, Monsieur Marais.
True.
Hello, Monsieur Juba and Monsieur Marais. I personally think, like I just said, Brady, very much so, yeah. You see what I mean? Just make sure we're on the same page. Take that down to below 4 hour. That's 60 pips, okay? That's 58 minutes old, less than 1 hour old, that candle. 60 pips stop. So it's far too close. Take it down to there. That's a 5 hour, not 1 day, 5 hour old candle, 120 pips. You can't take it there because you take it there, 160. You can't get a risk reward. So you've got to put your stop there. So you've got to put your stop 50 minutes away? No. Do you understand what I mean? If anyone doesn't understand that, I'll repeat it. It's quite important. Don't think, oh, this is a 4 hour candle, that's a 1 hour candle. They're exactly the same. They should be anyway, because it looks exactly the same because they're both of 1 hour old. All right, that 1 hour candle, I get it, will change at 5 o'clock into another candle. This will only change at 8 o'clock to another candle. But remember, it's only just begun, like the Carpenter's song. $1.74. What are you moaning about there, Brady? Worse than the whinging pond. You're doing bloody well. It's 65 pips up. Well, that's all right. I'm talking about entering now. Oh, that's bloody marvelous. No, that's fine. We'll get your stop up to bloody, sorry, 1.7. 174 on the dot, yeah. Get your stop up to maybe 174.10 or something, then you built in profits. No, nothing wrong with that. You didn't tell me that. I thought you wanted to enter now. Okay. Oh, 5 o'clock, that's right. Thank you, reminder. About that. Yeah, exactly. Well, as I said many times, Farney and Company, it had to be something drastic in the economy to put an interest rate outside the analyst expectation, because that will spook the market, and that they don't do it. If they have to do it, they will, even if it spooks the market, but they don't want to if they don't have to. It would be very, like they have it, well, yeah, tomorrow, yeah, is the MPC coming out, half or 75 basis points, I can't remember which it is now, in South Africa. But it's likely to be around about as expected. If it's different, it spooks the market. With all due respect, not so much South Africa, sorry to say to you, but Canada, GBP, AUD, certainly America, very unlikely. unless something drastic's happened. If you're expecting, we're expecting, analysts expecting 75 basis points, he comes out with 50 or 100, something radical, and then you'll see some stocks flying, fortunes made within a minute. You'll go screaming up or down and hope you're on the right side of it. That's expected. So we'll go over the Canada and just talk about that. Now it's released, you might get some movement, but because it's expected, don't expect too drastic. Well, having said that, it has. Well, there's our short worked out nicely. As it turns out, that's more luck than judgment. I think it's come off a lot because it's been confirmed. The wait for the confirmation, and it's come on, and the confirmation, so they're reacting to it. Okay. So anyway, I forgot about that. Thank you. It's too busy talking. I've got other stuff. That's a good point. I posted to it. What's on the platform training? Where is it now? Posted it and asked what the platform training Zoom ID, but I posted above. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, so thanks. I forgot about that. So yeah, we didn't want to do it this morning. I thought it was not a bad idea because of the 5 o'clock show coming out with interest rate decision. I get that. I think it might be a little, just go off to my economic calendar. There's probably a bit of a chit chat. Interest rate press conference coming up at 6 o'clock. So that, depending what the person says, I don't know much about Canada, I'm sure. So I don't know who the governor of the Bank of Canada is, to be honest, by name, but he'll be chit-chatting and that might jump around a bit. But anyway, anyone who did take it, I know a couple of guys who have written down. So those who did are now 60 pips in profit. Anyone sitting here at the moment who took that trade this morning, if you did, just say so, and we'll look at maybe modifying the stop. We don't want all to wash away something the Oak says at 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Okay, fine, you took it. Brilliant. Well, I'd suggest to protect yourself, you should have got in, if you did the like 69.12. So you should have gone to 69.12. With it coming up at 6, we don't want some whipsawing knocking you out and about. So I suggest you get it down to maybe 69 on the dot. Then you got a bit of a profit and you can't lose the trade. Well, can't lose, you might get slippage, but unlikely. So what I'm basically saying is you're protected and it might continue down. Well done, Farney. And JPY is also interesting. Well, I suppose it should be, shouldn't it, theory? But I said leave it alone, I did. Whether it went up or down, I'd stick to, I didn't know that then, and I'd stick to my decision. And it turned out I feel like the decision was correct. So yeah. I decided, strongly suggested, strongly leave it alone. I think they've gone, actually, to be honest, probably for a long, but I'd rather buy it a little bit lower down the range trade. As I said, leave it alone. It turned out that decision was correct. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. As long as you're protected, that's the main thing. That's Mr. Moran talk there. Yeah, it's interesting, all right, but well, yes and no, it's not really. I mean, it's happened. If it happened to the JPY, it probably happened to CHF. That's another one. EuroCAD. Probably shot up now. There you are. Same thing. Obviously, the base currency, the euro, so the opposite occurred. Same thing. Yeah. And that's the reaction. Let's have a look at the dollar, Mike, because dollars seem to affect the Canadians the other way around. To affect the Americans as well. So these are obviously two big buddies here, 2 big buddies here, because that's come off to 107.79. So anyone took the AUD USD short might not see the funny side of it. Yeah, it needs to have popped up. Okay. Interesting, correct. It is interesting, yeah. And it's more to the point interesting, it makes you aware how that economic fundamentals can affect. So the majority of the people who have joined Quick Trade or trading don't even know that. And that's the scary part. Between 50 and 60 join me in the mornings and probably around about the 30 to 40 mark in the afternoons. That is a minuscule percentage of the guys who are trading with us. And believe me, the BD team, everybody out there, I do push the trading room. You can take the horse to water, you can't make them drink. And then it goes wrong, and then they start throwing slings of arrows of outrageous fortune at us. It pushes the diplomacy sometimes not to be a bit sarky in return, I tell you. I don't know if Keone's with us. You get a guy like Keone, probably find out some sort of Mensa genius, I don't know, comes in, spends about a month, and he knows more than 90% of the guys we trained in 6 months because he made the effort. Anna Marie, Brady, well, Brady trained a bit longer, but you get the idea. Pete's another excellent idea. We trained a couple of months or so. He knows more than about 90% of the guys we trained a lot longer. He's made the effort. You're a cat who would do. Would have gone up. It would have done, like I said. Because the base currency the euro, so in this case, you've gone shooting up. It's not the euro, nothing to do with the euro, my friend. It's the Canadian. Let's try something else. GBP CAD. Let's look at this. It should, in theory, shut up. There you are. What about USD? USD CAD should be interesting because they're pretty similar movements. Yeah, there we are. Look at that. You see my point? There you are. Those two are big chummies, eh? Interesting. Thanks, Jean-Marie. I'll tell you what, there are times we're going to bite back some sucky comments, like, you know, trying to trade with 40 Rand and wonder why he can't. And it says, not enough money. Ask, what's the problem? What is it about not enough money you're not getting? You know what I mean? And 40 Rand, an international $1 trillion market, going in there with about $2. Difficult sometimes, you know. It's frightening, actually. Or trying to transfer money from their demo account because the salesman told them to get 100,000 demo and trying to transfer it into their real account. I've had that as well. I've heard from guys, you buy this course, you get 100,000 demo. If I buy this course for a couple of grand, I get 100,000. It's scary. Well, Pete, brilliant. I was pro that trade as a buy, as you know, and some guys didn't take it, some guys did. Things a while back. I think it did okay, and it came back a bit. I don't know if someone stopped that, but you're back in, or you hold in, or wider stop. But you should be smiling now. That's good news. Been a lot better day today. You probably hear from my body language yesterday. I was not happy, chappy. A lot of people complaining as well. Didn't make my day any better. Could accept it, you know. Now I know those superstars feel when they get this continual Twitter hammering. Novak Djokovic gets a hamstring injury. No, he's faking it and the rest of it. What the hell do they know? I tend to be sick after 5 hours on court or whatever, and they get a sniffle and they want to take a week off work. You know what I mean? That's brilliant. Eurocad, shut up. Brilliant. Finally do right. Anybody do all right out of the Canadian one? Anyone in the Canadian one going the right way, did okay? But no one's in going the wrong way. Yeah, dollars come off nicely. Well, this is it, because you lose, it's your money. I do mine. I do all right. Don't not worry about me at all. But yeah, because the thing is, I'm trying to get across, and you, Brady, and you, Skip, is the fact that I'm here to advise, but it's your decision. Most of them don't want to make any decision. They want someone to do everything for them, you know. And yeah, it's I think from the problem over mankind. They want to get the pay of the general, but they want to have the responsibility of a private. You know what I mean? I find that a lot in the government. A lot of times Zuma in, he starts blaming other people. Sorry, mate, even if it's their fault. You are the chairman of the, you're the man in charge. It's still your responsibility, you know. And Etienne's not here. He gave me quite a nice about a month or so ago. Bit of therapy, saying, you know, I understand, because you know, and the thing is, I don't get much hassle from guys with money, intelligence, sense, and understanding, trading guys. It's the guys with tiny money, no knowledge, nothing really much to offer, to be honest. Horribly honest, but be careful to say. Those are the ones that throw the biggest slings and arrows. You know what I mean? Went to the shop with about £200 in his account on the 501, goes in a 2 Nasdaq or Dow, I think went on the Dow, or 3 Dow, some ridiculous minuscule amount, came back and we took the trade off him. 3, not 1. Remember I mentioned about 1 micro, 10 grand, less than 500 in his account. When it was 3, because he's so highly leveraged. 3, not 1, 3 micro on the Dow. Obviously it tripped a few pips and margin called him. No, we're stealing his money. Yeah, unbelievable.
Sorry, Roger, a question.
Yeah. Go for it.
Good stuff, the CAD strengthened against most of the currencies except the yen. Why?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It weakened. It weakened. It weakened. Go to the Euro CAD. Remember the base currency, it's the other way around. It's the base currency euro. It's the Canadian yen or the Euro CAD. See what I mean? That's the Canadian weakening. The euros went up because the Canadian weakened. That's why that's green. The CAD JPY is red. You with me?
Sorry, my mistake. Yeah.
Best way to look at it is hand on your head like they do in Australia, because it's the other way around for the Northern Hemisphere. I get your point completely, yeah. It's like looking, you're going north when you're actually traveling south, but you're looking ahead. You think in your mind you're going north, but actually you're traveling south, if you get my point. Yeah. Always remember it's the base currency.
Yes, for sure. Hey, sorry, people.
No, that happens all the time, trust me. And not so much now, but it happens for a while. It happens even a couple of times. That should happen because that's strengthening. Hang on, I forgot it's the other way around, the base currency. So you can't say, can you look at the AUD/GBP? I'll be pedantic and pull you up. It's not the AUD/GBP, it's the GBP AUD. And not just being bloody petty, it's important. Or I just want to sell my short to exit. I'm being petty, but no, you buy your short to exit. Because, because that's important. Yeah. Anyway, Anne-Marie, good stuff. That's the beauty of having a husband in the trading business. They're like Joshua Dore, except his husband not an uncle. So if you miss out, at least he came in. That's all right. Yeah, well, Brady, we all lose, and particularly, you know, if other guys do. And sometimes I think it's a bit unfair because, as I say, AUD, NZD, TP, the gold did, the Brent did, a couple of others did, and some that didn't did all right. But then, you know, you suddenly send a couple out with the best will in the world and it didn't work out. And I'm going to defend myself here. This actually didn't do too badly in the end. It's doing bloody well, in fact. Remember, we just got stopped out, literally 5 or 10 pips higher on the stop loss. You guys would be in a nice profit now. So again, the trade was right.
Very true.
AUD CHF, I think I made a cock up on that one. I can't remember what I did with that. It was a short. I think I remember what I did. It was the daily. I think I went for a short on it on the daily, yeah. And that went shooting up. All right, I got that wrong. I think it was Mark who said, "I'm so hurtful," or into the hurtful, something like that. The Swiss franc. That's supposed to be stable, like a stuck pig, and that's been bloody stably weak for some reason, which is confusing me, to be honest. But I put my hand up, I got that one wrong. But the dollar Swiss franc was the correct trade. All right, stop loss a bit tighter around in and out, but still it's a correct trade because look at this, a nice profit now. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's have a look at our shares. Someone's in Amazon. Hey, Amazon's coming, all right. Whoever's in Amazon. Let's have a look at GSF stock. Not much happening. F stock is the opposite to the NASDAQ. This is not a tech share. It's just an ordinary share. Often shares are called swing trading in a few weeks. I remember our JSE ones, guys without knowing it, it was a ShopRite. I told them, didn't listen. And so you've been there for a while. 6 weeks later, they're still in it, complaining about the swap fees. It can be slow. Anyway, at least it's in profit. And the KO, Coca-Cola, anything happening here? Sort of coming right. It flirted with a stop loss. The guy that took it should still be in. Got with about 4 or 5 cents to stop. Luckily, it didn't trigger this time. It's a bit of luck on my side on that one, and your side more to the point. But now it's come off. Not really much profit at the moment, but at least it's looking a lot prettier. So stick with that. Hope it comes right. Clearly, we can't change Microsoft. We're knocked out of Meta. So, well, not as much happening in Meta. There's no big deal there. Google, a while back, was stopped out. So that wasn't all right. Fair enough. Others tech stocks jumped up. But again, even that's coming off. But anyway, leave it alone. So some seem to be coming to the party. Even Apple might be coming off a bit. Yep, even Apple's coming off. So now should be coming off in theory quite nicely. Sorry if it's shooting down. Not as much. I was only worried it might be at 11.3 or something after saying to Tenby, don't bother at those levels. And then it shot down, he's not on board. But it's come off a bit, but not enough meat on the bones in that trade. With a stop at 200 at 650 odd to come off maybe 80 odd pips with a 200 stop. You know, it could get some noise around about the 500 mark, and it should get some definite noise around about this. So 430 noise, and this mark some noise as well. At 80, 90 pips is diddly squat on the NAS. So again, I think the advice turns out was correct. And I remember I'm saying in hindsight, I didn't give it afterwards, like most of these guys, you know, you see on YouTube, they're showing you stuff they already know the answer to. Or if you're going on YouTube and go through and ask them, all right, we know that, brilliant. Now, where's he going to go now? You'll see him back off then. Did it shoot? Yeah. All right, fine. I said don't go for it for that reason, but it did jump, but I didn't know that. We were right on the long, but you couldn't have taken it there. We couldn't get the risk-reward ratio worth it. So we missed it 1920. Sorry about that. It would have been a beaut, and I missed it as well. But at least the trade was right, even if you're not on board, which is some sort of consolation, I suppose. But yeah, didn't quite get to 94. Seemed to be holding. That's what I say. You've got to have a 1950 minimum TP, and it seemed to be back in the break 1940. So maybe better luck next time round. Okay, thanks to Brady for that. And he pulled back on the thing of Brady, and he pulled back first. I'm going to stick with the guns. Don't want to chase it. Try and get a slightly better price. I think you might battle. Hang on, no, wrong way around. Hang on, I'm doing a Farney there. Wrong way around. The US dollar is coming off, and that's the base currency. Yes, I'm right. So you might get some strength in the rand. Yeah, I'm the right way around. So yeah, hang 5 on that. You might get some a better price. Now look how weak that rand is. If you look at it, your what you call it, DXY, at what's the time now? 4 o'clock. It was a 102.5. It's now 101.62. You can see the big red on the hourly coming off. Look what's happened to the ZAR. Look what's happened to the ZAR. Peanuts. You get the idea. Peanuts. So yeah, I think you might get a bit of a better price round about these levels. Yeah, maybe around about here. Round about those levels there. That's about 1710, near enough as damn it. You should get that, and then I think you'll get some profit taken on the DXY, as in the dollar, and then you get a nice little run up. Away you go. Hope that makes sense. So I just saw something there, Pete. Are you still with us? Going to, or have you left? No, you're still there. Good. Going to strangle my SL. In other words, do you mean you're going to put it close enough because you're getting worried it might fall back? For once, I don't think it's such a bad idea. because when you have a big move up like that, there's a lot of big players up there who take enormous positions and it shoots up and they haven't got costs. They're just taking very big positions. They often close a lot, grab the quick profit. And as they're closing those longs, it falls back clearly. And so it might not be such a daft idea. So yeah, okay. Not a bad idea, Pete, in this case. As long as you understand how the bigger picture works. You got Pete and, I don't know, Jane, for argument's sake, who are controlling a very, very large institution, going in enormously big position, maybe just after announcement through the buy stop, sell stop, carry on or whatever, it's triggered an enormous amount. Just that sheer volume of buying shoots up. Then what they do, they start taking profit, and this is important. A lot of that ones don't get filled. We've got fill or kill on here. As on that subject, maybe we should just explain this. Not many one understands it. This might be of interest to you. If I'm boring you, tell me. It's got fill or kill there. It won't, with all due respect, not being rude, it matter to you guys because your bounce is so small. Fill or kill means you're either in with the entire position and volume or you're not in. There's no halfway measures. These guys will put in maybe, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 or bigger contracts, like standard lots, enormous ones, maybe I'm exaggerating, but very large positions. And they put that in and it triggers on the buy, you understand the buy stop, sell stop? This is the buy stop. In this case, for argument's sake, goes up, triggers it. In 20,000 contracts, of only, let's say, 15 or 12,000 got filled. On the sheer volume of the 20,000 shooting up, only maybe 7,000 or 8,000 of those contracts not filled, it'll pull back. They see it pull back. They don't touch a thing. The computer will take control. These are multi-million-dollar computers. Don't say, I wouldn't mind having one of them. Well, you might, but you have to be in the know. You have to know the right people. Be part of the Bloomberg and Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, part of the commercial swamp, the globalized swamp, and have a few $1 million at your disposal to get that. And that's immediately triggered as the exit the sell. So not all fill the sell and it pulls back. That's why I often get a bit of a pullback. So you grabbed it, shot up, grabbed it, not a bad idea. But I hope that sort of clarified a few things, what goes on in the big, wide, big money world out there. So one thing about this, you take the interest and see how the whole money system works worldwide. And most of us basically are just being pummeled around by them and kept like mushrooms in the dark and fed on SH12. And they want you to be ignorant on it because that means that you don't kick up. Yeah. As I said before, like the Fed is nothing to do with the Federal Reserve. It's a bank. We know it's a bank, but it's a private bank. It's nothing to do with democracy or anything like that. There's a lot of con jobs being pushed on our ignorance out there and big time finance, unfortunately. And to get away, we just don't know. So now I hope that cleared a couple of things up. All right, so what's the time? 5 minutes to go. Any other questions before we go into the close?
Any suggestions on the FTSE's adjustment on stop loss?
Are you in that? Are you in a profit, are you?
Yeah, on a slight profit, and I went in at 77.49.
77.49, too close. That's a bit late to chase. You chased a bit late there. Should have been in back there. Anyway, you aren't. It's a stupid thing to say. Never mind what you should have done. Let's have a look. No, it's a bit of, I think you might get a bit of a bounce here. I'm a bit worried about it. I'm not saying you will, so don't say close it. You might not. But normally I'd say it's too close on a what you call it, on the index. Bit too close on the Forex index, particularly, it's a bit close to being 30 pips away. But in this case, I've changed my mind. I think maybe an idea. You could get a bit of a bounce here. I hope you don't. I hope it continues down. But such a late entry, you might get a bit of a bounce.
I was already in this trade since the 19th. That is a week.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, right. I beg your pardon. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. That's a different story. I thought it just ended quickly. Okay. I still see the downside. It could pop up. I still see that. I don't want it to, my worry, finally, I don't so close. You get stalled out with no money, it climbs off. It's got a bit of resistance. It could get a bit of a bounce. I think you should take a risk. Where's your stop at the moment?
Seven triple eight.
7,888. 150 pips. That's quite a long way. I think you're going to still take a risk, but it's going to reduce risk. I think put it down to 7,824. 7,824. If you make a loss on the win, I'm sorry, but I think it could add a bit of a jump, a bit of profit taking, but it looks like the dollar coming off and the rest of it, we could get some more downside. The NAS, and you remember before the American markets, they're attacking, sell the rally, they're attacking there. They might get it a bounce for a bit further down. So it's up to you. If you can either take it, hope for the best, or if you want to get some more out of it, reduce the risk. Still a risk. At 78.24 to 49 is what, about 75, about $7 or something, about 100. It's not massive per micro. I don't know how many micros you got, but I think I personally, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a disclaimer in. If I was in that trade and it was my money, I would put a stop in at 78.24. I'd modify it to that. If it goes wrong and you make a loss instead of a win, I'm sorry. That's what I do.
No, thanks. I've already changed it. I needed some advice or other insights. Thanks.
Okay, I know you know that, but for everyone else's benefit, it's advice. It's not saying it's right or wrong. Okay, guys, brilliant. It's been far more enjoyable this session than the last one, the two we've had. So not for your fault, I'm talking about the bloody market's fault. Yeah, the markets to me are like the government. Their purpose is to be blamed. Okay, even if it's your own fault. Okay, guys, at least it's a bit better this afternoon. I hope we continue tomorrow. And yeah, so catch you then. And thank you much for your appreciation, Dealey, and the others. And stick with it. You're going to get good days, and you're certainly going to get bad days, but then hopefully good days as well. Good stuff. Okay, cheers.
Thank you, sir. Thanks all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.